Okay, so now let's get into some homosexual pride news, because I guess now you have a reason to be prideful. Because Kathy Hilton pulled out of WeHo Pride. So there was some controversy that was going around stating Kathy Hilton was going to be doing WeHo Pride. When I heard about this, I was like, for why? But then I remember hearing there was stories about, of course, these vapid ass gays in West Hollywood, of all people, because y'all want that close proximity to the goddamn housewives, and quiet as it's kept. Or maybe it's not as quiet, because if you ever been to LA, West Hollywood and Beverly Hills is literally next door to each other. So, and then there's Century City, all the other stuff. So all of that is coming near each other. Because when I lived in Silver Lake, I would take the bus from Silver Lake through West Hollywood, and I used to work in at Century City in the mall, and it drops you off right over there, and you go through Beverly Hills to get there. So they're literally neighbors. So she came out and said that you're gonna be a grand marshal. And I was like, why is this happening? Who authorized this? And I guess with all the backlash and everything that was going on, they decided I guess she decided to pull out, because some people was like, how much money did she give the WeHo Pride Festival people in order to put herself in that situation? Because these days, the way the Bezoses bought themselves into the Met Gala, people just buy themselves into everything these days, and it seems like times is hard. So y'all just be having y'all hands out like y'all Oliver trying to get porridge or extra porridge. So, and then of course, I think a lot of people harked back to the fact that they believe that Kathy is MAGA. Also, let's not forget that the Hilton Hotel has been accused of housing ICE agents, where they've allegedly raped a lot of the people that they rounded up and all this other stuff. So they've been accused of the Hilton Hotel has been accused of aiding and abetting ICE agents. So, and also, like I said, her proximity to being a Trump supporter, allegedly. And the fact, remember, when she was on, I think the first season she did The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, gay ally Erica Jane accused Kathy, when they were out in Aspen, of using racial and homophobic slurs to some, I think it might have been a DJ or something or another at the club, and she called it out. So all of this buildup may have partaken into the fact that nobody wanted Kathy Hilton there. I'll get my over thoughts about it after I go through the article. So let's go through it. Shout out to Out for this story, by the way. So, after the withdrawal of at least one group of marchers, oh yeah, because the Indigenous Pride, I forget what their whole name is. It's in the article. An Indigenous queer group pulled out this morning. That's when I heard about the whole situation, because I posted on my social media. So now, after withdrawal of at least one group of marchers and a frenzy of complaints, there will be no Grand Marshal icon at the 2026 We Hope Pride Parade, say the event organizers, West Hollywood leaders, and former honoree Kathy Hilton. Now, with that being said, before we get to the rest of the article, what has Kathy Hilton actually done to be considered a We Hope Pride Parade icon or a Grand Marshal icon? We just giving out just titles for the sake of giving out titles. Like, what has she contributed to the queer community for her to be seen as an ally? That's another thing that pissed me off with you rhymes with maggots. Y'all just be giving out shit like it's candy, and y'all just do things a little too loosely. Because I'm like, what has she contributed to the community that warrants her to even be chosen as a grand marshal, let alone be seen as an icon to the gays? Is it because y'all want Paris to show up? If that was the case, try to get Paris to show up. And don't even get me started on that whole gay for pay bullshit that Kyle was trying to string us along with, acting like she was hunching Morgan Wade. She probably was, but still didn't come to the terms of whether or not she was out here licking on the coochie cooch. So now Hilton, the socialite heiress turned Real Housewives reality star and mother of Paris and Nikki Hilton, sidestepped controversy over her selection in her part of the statement issued jointly by city and parade officials, saying, quote, I'm honored to have been considered for this recognition and appreciative of the support I have received from members of the community throughout the years. My reason for wanting to be involved in this year's We Hope Pride weekend was simple: to celebrate, support, and share in the joy of a community that means a great deal to so many people. Now, officials quoted by WeHo Times said community members had shared through thoughtful feedback as outreported last week. That feedback included unsubstantiated accusations that Hilton voted for President Donald Trump and is at the very least a supporter of Trump, and that she reportedly used the F slur in front of her former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills co-star, Erica Jane. Mhm. Wait, hold on. Let me pull up the WeHo Pride situation so that way y'all can see that. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Now, Hilton has denied the allegation, but Jane claimed Hilton used a homophobic slur during a cast trip to Aspen. She later vowed she would never back down from the truth of what happened that night at the club in Aspen. On Wednesday, Indigenous Pride, okay, so I was right. Indigenous Pride LA posted on Instagram that it canceled its participation in the June 7th parade. I always forget, WeHo Pride is always around the same time as Queen's Pride, because Queen's Pride is this weekend too, stating Hilton was the wrong choice to represent Pride. Many within, quote, many within our two spirit, indigiqueer, and indigenous LGBTQP AI plus. I'm like, what is the? Oh, wait, hold on. So we got LGBT. Q is questioning. P, what is that? Pan. And I'm trying to. What is A? They got so many goddamn acronyms up in here. I can't even keep up. Can you keep up? Hell no. Anyway, so they said an indigenous LGBT blah, 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 LMNOP circles feel this year's Grand Marshal choice does not align with the values, lived experiences, and spirit of pride we seek to uplift, the group wrote in its Instagram statement. And so here's the thing. When I think about that as well, what I don't understand is that, and then they said, so have they chosen someone who will replace Kathy Hilton? Oh, they haven't. Which I find relatively hilarious because I'm like, I love our allies. Trust me, I love the fact that we have people who actually genuinely give a fuck about the community and love the gay community and all that other stuff. However, can we start to uplift people within our own communities and make them icons and make them grand marshals? Why are y'all always looking to these straight women to be like this beacon of hope and light for the gays to look up to? Gays should be looking up to people within our community. We should be uplifting people within our community instead of looking to straight people who are just, oh, I'm a bystander. I'm a window shopper. I'm just cruising in the vehicle seeing the bevy of gays as I drive on by. Like that's what it's giving. Because that's what it's gonna be. She's gonna be in that damn float waving in her weird regalia that she usually wears. And that's that. So we need to start uplifting people in our community. I'm sick and tired of these people up top and these and that run these things that it just seems like it's a sense of self-hatred or y'all just want to be in such close proximity to straightness or whatever it is or the housewives. Maybe that's what it is too, instead of being like, you know what, this is a celebration for queer people. This is a time more than ever that we need to be resilient and out here and celebrating who we are, especially under this crazy ass regime full of quiet as it's kept closet cases. Because you can't tell me how the people up in the GOP ain't hunching men on the low. But nevertheless, this is a time for us to be even more resilient because last time I checked, the first pride was a riot. It was like we was tired of being put our gay ancestors, our gay forefathers were tired of being pushed up against the wall. Yes, nobody was killed, Derek Barry, but but it was a riot. It was literally about us rising up and being resilient because we got tired, our ancestors got tired of getting locked up for wanting to dance with someone of the same gender in a bar or whatever, or the fact that we were being persecuted for being homosexual or trans or wanting to dress and drag and do the hula. So, other social media comments criticizing Hilton's selection included no Republicans at Pride and she is MAGA out Homosexual influencer and podcaster, a name I ain't heard in a month of Sundays, Tyler Oakley, joined the pile on in a tweet to his 4.2 million followers on Twitter and said, "Great choice for trailblazer icons. I'm curious why Kathy Hilton was chosen, considering the last I heard about her, she was attending Trump's parties and calling a DJ faggot." Told you. I said it was a DJ. So, and then of course they said WeHo officials played the Michelle Obama "We Go High" card amid all the criticism, saying the city of West Hollywood has always believed that pride belongs to the community. Well, clearly you didn't. That's why you chose who you chose. It's part of the joint statement. Well, it's part of the joint statement said. Now, since its earliest days, pride has served as both a celebration and a platform for activism, visibility, resilience, and the ongoing pursuit of equality, dignity, and justice for LGBTQ plus people. The organizers also thank residents and advocates for what they call respectful dialogue about the future of the event, saying these conversations reflect the passion people have for WeHo Pride and underscore the importance of ensuring that WeHo Pride continues to honor the history, values, and diverse voices of the LGBTQ plus community. Hilton also addressed her longstanding role as an ally and briefly addressed the social media dialogue, calling it thoughtful. Well, girl, I need to know what your long-standing role as an ally equates. And I'm not saying that you got a bunch of gays working for you and getting your shit. That's a slave that you just paying a good coin for. But I didn't know what kind of real like queer allyship. What have you contributed to the community to be considered an ally? And I'm not saying having some gays do your hair and makeup, or as I said before, or picking out your clothes or being your assistant. She said, "I respect the thoughtful conversations that have taken place and remain deeply committed to supporting LGBTQ plus causes and visibility, including through my participation in I can't stand them, initiatives and events and longstanding supportive organizations such as the Elton John AIDS Foundation, the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation since its inception, Dr. Matilda Krim, Goslow We Deliver, and Project Angel Food." Whatever happened to that? Said homeless, not toothless? Didn't she have I was like, girl. But look, so I guess she answered my question, but she was about what she, I guess, donates money to. "My support for the community and We Hope Pride is unwavering. This monumentally important event has always had a special place in my heart, and I will always cherish the experience I had acting as Grand Marshal of the LA Pride Parade with my daughter in 2005. I guess 10 years a difference a day, a difference a decade makes, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because was a grand marshal 11 years ago, and nobody had a problem then. But I guess it's because all this stuff we didn't have to deal with all the well. Trump was, we've been dealing with his ass for 10 years, but the times was different then. Now that we have way more information, the world is in a different place than we were 10 years ago. People are in their feelings. "Thank you to everyone who worked so hard to make it happen, and I wish the community nothing but love, joy, and a fantastic We Hope Pride celebration." So in the end, Hilton was granted a discreet exit with a closing thank you for the city and We Hope Pride. Okay, so there's that. But let's see what the peoples are saying in the comments, because I'm like, how they feeling about all of this? So yeah, indigenous pride situation. Let's see what some of the people saying. Jackie B said, "Respect and appreciate this decision." Miss Coco Peru's gave us some applause. Uncle Mario Diaz, I live for him. So he gave some hand claps. Sweep the leg said Hilton dropped out. Happy to see at WeHo City and at WeHo Pride listening, responding quickly to this. Another person said her with potential MAGA connections makes her a good representation to be our community pride grand marshal. Seriously, I support Indigenous Pride LA's decision. Another person said Indigenous Pride LA understands that they are responsible for creating safe spaces, for protecting its people, and for being an ally to others. They take these things seriously, while some who should know better insist on the opposite. Proud of y'all for taking a stand. And so now over at the We Hope Pride thing, because I was just reading Indigenous one. We see Frankie Grande's in the comments. Willem said everyone on the board needs to be replaced. Why would so many people agree to this? And then also Willem said, in regards to the We Hold Pride joint statement, oh, I think I might have closed it out. So for y'all, because I thought I was mirroring it on the other side. She said, "What a cop out appointment a LGBTQIA person." Yeah, because what they're saying is that they don't have anybody to replace, and that's what I was saying. I said when she said, "What a cop out," appoint. I think she meant appoint. She put appointment. But yeah, appoint a queer person as the replacement. You know how many drag queens in West Hollywood that you could just ask to be a grand marshal? Like, it's not that hard to find a replacement. Y'all got 3 more days. Well, 2 more days to give that time so that way they can be up ready and get glammed or whatever. You could have just picked one of the drag race girls. How many of them bitches live in LA? You could have picked one of them to be a grand marshal. Shit, RuPaul got a new movie out. You should have had him get up there in that little Pee Wee Herman suit. Another person said they talking about Ramada, but I don't know how to say your fucking name. They said we did it, Joe. WeHo is a Ramada girl. Another person said, "Oh, Luscious Massacre says, so wait, is the Grand Marshal position open now?" Midas Hart said, or maybe just maybe pick one of the thousands of people who have been working in LGBTQ activism and community building for literal decades that lives in this city. That's what I was saying. You can pick a drag queen, you can pick somebody who's an activist within the situation. Another person said instead of listing all the ways she has supported the gay community in her statement, she should have just said she doesn't support DJT or his discriminatory policies. You can't say you support us and still support him. Um, then someone said that make Meg as who's Meg Stalter, the new Grand Marshal. She'll be there anyway. Just drop her off the float at the end. Another person, we have somebody who's vouching for Luscious Massacre. Said our Grand Marshal should be Luscious or someone of the community. Give the honor to those actually in the streets. That's what I said. Those who are actually out there pounding the pavement, being an activist, that sort of thing, you should be giving them you should definitely platform them or give them an opportunity. Willa went on to say this. She said she don't need to come to our party or parade if she willingly goes to Trump's parties and smiles and takes pics. That's not an ally. And a lot of people up in there agreeing with her. Said, and one person said, not to and see, this is what I was saying too. One person in the comments said, not to mention Hilton Hotels supporting ICE. She has no place at Pride. So a lot of people are thanking Willem for what she said. And I agree with all this. And you know what? A lot of you pride events, y'all need to do better with what y'all be doing. And we keep talking about this all the time. Not just with it's like the white gays don't, the white gays, the black gays, y'all all be doing because black pride, y'all just as messy with the people y'all be choosing too. And especially when y'all be having homophobes like Kaya and them up in there giving them a check when you should be giving it to the queer artists that actually make music for the LGBTQ community. It's like these people that are the gatekeepers of all this, y'all got y'all priorities all fucked up. Y'all need to get right with yourselves and Jesus. So anyway, I'm done talking about this lady. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think this is the right in my opinion, this is the right decision? But for them to just get rid of the grand marshal altogether, that's a pussy ass move. It's a cop out. There's so many people out here that do the work as a grand marshal, and the people like, who's that? Fucking educate them. See, that's what y'all all y'all care about is going viral and having a famous name attached to something, so that way people are talking about y'all instead of remembering what Pride is truly all about. It's not about some famous reality star glazing y'all nuts while y'all are out and about. It's about celebrating us as a people. Where people talking about we're an abomination, all that other bullshit. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.